All right. Good day, everybody. It is Wednesday, February 16th, 2022. Hope you all are having a great day. I know I am. We're getting ramped up here and ready to go for Podbean later this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Podbean, it's LWN Podcast. If you guys want to join us there, I got John Esterbrooks this afternoon. So let's just dive into the headlines real quick. This one will probably be pretty short. Just some things I thought I would bring to your attention. Um, some of the stuff I just cannot make up. It's complete insanity. All right, so businesses do not think Fed will get Bidenflation under control soon. So the Federal Reserve officials have their work cut out for them, trying to persuade the businesses that they can bring inflation under control in the coming year. We're already into mid-February here, and it doesn't seem like there's kind of plan or any kind of relief in the near future. So the Fed, the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta's measure of business expectations for inflation showed that the average firms in February expect a rise of prices at 3.6%, a significant increase. And we're all feeling it. And I got some more headlines that we're going to talk about, some other things that inflation is also playing a part in. And it's amazing some of the things that come out of the administration's mouth, to be honest with you. Um, he's always a wildcat. Rawr. All right, this measure has been climbing steadily over a year now, taking a brief breath last summer when the Delta triggered a surge in infections. The Fed's pivot to remove accommodation late last year and expectations that the Fed will raise its interest rate target in March has not calmed the inflation. So now remember, we've had Andy on here multiple times. I'm probably going to bring him back on here real soon because he keeps up with all this stuff and he keeps telling us with inflation and the rate of inflation and critical inflation, there's only two options for you. One is to raise interest rates significantly, which will ultimately crush the economy. And the other thing is just keep pumping money into it till it collapses. Right? So we've talked about this and this inflation just keeps steadily climbing, 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 climbing. And old Joe ain't doing anything about it. So keep an eye on that, folks. Protect yourselves. Make sure that you and your family are self efficient, that you guys can get through any situation, whether it is natural disaster or if it is financial collapse. All right. So let's move on. This one I found very interesting as well. So here we are, post Super Bowl. Everybody's celebrating the win for the Los Angeles Rams. But now fans are required to provide proof of vacation for the Rams Super Bowl championship outdoor parade. Fans of Los Angeles Rams will be required to provide proof of vacation or a negative test to attend the team's Super Bowl championship outdoor parade on Wednesday. Uh, Mere days after pro restriction elitists such as the Los Angeles Mayor Eric Gotzi, a Democrat, and plenty of celebrities failed to apply the rules to themselves, foregoing masks at the game and their latest public display of hypocrisy. So it shows a picture of all these celebrities out there celebrating this Super Bowl and not playing by their own rules. And those people include one of my favorites, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Andy Garcia, Jay Z, Matt Damon, Ellen DeGeneres, Charlie Theron, and of course, LeBron James, the biggest hypocrite of them all. So it's always say as I do, not as I, not a say do as I say, not as I do. And it's just hypocrisy after hypocrisy. And the biggest thing is here's a video where the celebrities without masks during the Super Bowl, but every kid in California will have to wear the mask come their day in school. When are we going to have enough, folks? When are you going to stand up and say, "Nah, I'm good with this. I'm over it." So I think a lot of people are. I think I see a lot of traction out there and a lot of things happening. So pay attention to that. All right, here's something else you just can't make up. The military has spent 6 million man hours on woke training under Biden. Now that's 6 million man hours. Who pays for that? Who pays for all this training? You do. Taxpayers. The United States military spent nearly 6 million man hours on an extremist stand down and diversity, equality, and inclusion DEI training since President Joe Biden took office, according to the Department of Defense. So they are pushing their agenda. It goes even further to say that they're training our troops about global warming and their Green New Deal. What's that all about? Why are we worried about global warming with the military? So it's also found that less than 100, and I can't make this up, less than 100 actual um, service members have ever engaged in any kind of extremist activity. That's what the study found. And it's just, man, you just can't make this stuff up. It's crazy. I have never in my life ever thought I would see so much ridiculous crap that is coming out of one particular administration. I thought Obama was bad. This guy's definitely got him beat. All right, moving on. Let's talk about old Reed here, one of my favorites from MSNBC. Reed, if the GOP cared about kids, they'd, quote, mustered the courage to pass a new assault weapons ban. So she goes further to say on her show, The Readout, if Republicans cared about children, they would muster the courage to pass an assault weapons ban. Reed said maybe it's just if the Republicans cared about the kids, they could muster the courage to pass a new assault weapons ban like the one that Joe did and got passed back in 1994. You know, the assault weapons ban that Republicans allowed to expire. Unfortunately, for actual accountability, parents and the kids, and they're on their own when it comes to school shootings. So it goes on to say that except that today, the first time in American history, a gun maker is actually facing consequences for school shootings, with the families of the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary massacre reaching a $73 million settlement with the gun maker Remington. Now, I'm bringing this up because how is it the gun manufacturer's responsibility or liability for any of this happening? How is it? So, I guess if somebody was to hijack a Peterbilt and drive it through an elementary playground and wipe out a lot of unfortunate little kids, I guess, I know that's graphic, I guess Peterbilt would be responsible and liable for that. Guns don't kill people. Vehicles don't kill people. People kill people. Pretty simple. All right, moving on. Let's talk about our energy crisis. Joe Biden promises to work like the devil. Boy, isn't that fitting for him? Work like the devil to bring down gas prices after the strategic oil reserve release fails. I would love to have somebody call into my show and just give me one thing that this administration has done in the last year since it's took office that has been good for America. Any accomplishment, please let me know. Email me. I'd like to know because it seems like I report failure after failure after failure. Are you tired of failing yet? Remember when Trump said that we were going to win, win, win? We'd get sick of winning. I seem to remember when he was in office, we won a lot of things. A lot of things turned around. A lot of things got better. Americans were working. We had the lowest unemployment rate in history. Um, Minorities were kicking ass, taking names. I mean, everybody was thriving under the Biden administration. And now we have a dictator. We have tyranny that we live under. And it's never going to end. President Joe Biden promised Monday to continue to work on bringing down the price of gasoline, less than 3 months after his historic release of the oil from the strategic oil reserves. So, if you don't know what that is, America, a lot of countries, but America especially, has reserves. We put a lot of crude in those reserves for hard times, um, for war, and we really don't touch those. So I'm going to give some credit where credit is due. Those reserves were actually empty during the Obama administration. Now, I don't know if that bled over from the Bush administration. I don't know, and I don't care. My point being is during the Trump administration, when OPEC decided that they were going to flood the market, the brilliant Trump went in and bought crude oil for pennies on the dollar and filled all our reserves. He filled them for pennies on the dollar. I'm telling you, it was cheap. It was brilliant. It was a brilliant move. He did that before he left office. Fill this up. So now, and I want to talk about this, I'm going to work like the devil to get gas prices down. Quote from Biden, has had a historic release of those reserves. Biden told attendees at the National Association of Counties in the 2022 Legislative Conference in Washington, D.C., that the prices of gasoline were striking again after the president announced on November the 23rd that he would release 50 million barrels of oil to help keep prices down, more than any release by any administration in modern history. Trump filled them up. Biden is emptying them as quick as he possibly can. And guess what the result is, folks? The average price of gasoline was about $2.37 when Biden took office. Wasn't that great? I just filled my truck up the other day. It cost me $100. I paid $3.63 a gallon. That's what I paid to fill it up. And since he took office, gas prices, the average has jumped to $3.41 in November of 2021 before he released the oil from the strategic oil reserves. And what that all that did was it dropped the gas prices to $3.27. That's like 14 cents. He's emptying the reserves, and it dropped the price of fuel 14 cents. Now, after he's done that, it is starting to climb back up. The average price as of Monday has gone up to $3.48 a gallon, where there are Americans across the country that are paying as high as $5 and $6 a gallon for gas. More inflation, more failures. This buffoon went on record to say, I grew up in a family where the price at the pump was felt in the kitchen, says Biden. Everyone knew, everyone felt it, and he understands what we're going through. But yet his anti-energy agenda continues to block the Keystone Pipeline and other pipelines similar to it, and they continue to drive their Green New Deal. So here's a fact check for you. Joe Biden on Tuesday claimed without evidence that the gas companies are overcharging Americans at the pump by not passing on cost savings for lower wholesale gas prices to prices at the pump. Man, I read this stuff and I can't believe they write this, but okay. Well, the verdict was it's false. There are no savings. There are no savings to pass on. Biden wants 50% of the new cars to be electric or electric hybrids by the year 2030. That's 8 years away. He claims that anybody who has an electric car will save anywhere from $800 to $1,000 in fuel costs this year. Is it worth the price of the electric car? Really? What does it cost to mine the lithium for those batteries? How destructive to the economy, to the environment is it for electric cars? Not only that, you have to charge those cars. How are you going to charge the cars? With solar? With wind? Still got to have fossil fuels. These are the people running our country, folks. We're in some serious trouble. All right, let's move on to the next headline. I found this strangely odd. Joe Biden recalls putting dead dog on Republican voters' doorstep. I did not stutter. I did not misread. That's exactly what the article from Breitbart says. Joe Biden recalls putting dead dog on Republican voters' doorstep. This is the President of the United States. President Joe Biden recalled Monday putting a dead dog on a doorstep of one of his constituents back when he served on the county council in the state of Delaware. What happened was there was a dead dog in this lady's yard, and so she called Biden in the middle of the night. So he says, I got a call one night. A woman said to me, obviously not the same political party that he was in or affiliated with, which so he identifies himself as a Democrat. So this would be a Republican. She called me and said, there is a dead dog on my lawn. Biden recalled that he told the woman that the county would deal with it in the morning. Her response, she said, I want it removed now. I pay your salary. Woo. So I went over. I picked it up. She said, I want it out of my front yard. So I put it on her doorstep. And then he grinned at the crowd and laughed. He also made statement that he ran for the Senate because it was too hard being a councilman. So that, folks, is the President of the United States putting a dead dog on a constituent's doorstep and grinning and laughing and think that that was a funny story to tell people. What a wonderful person. All right, here's the last headline of the day. We're still looking into it. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of different opinions on what's going on over on the Ukrainian border. False flags, distractions, pump fake. We're going to the war. I don't know. I've heard so many different thoughts on this. I'm paying attention. I'm watching, see what happens. That's all I can do. So Joe Biden warns Russian invasion still possible in aggressive speech against Vladimir Putin. So yesterday, President Joe Biden delivered an aggressive speech against Russian President Vladimir Putin, warning him again not to invade the Ukraine. He goes on to say that that would be good if they had moved their troops off of the border. So they're talking about it, but not for sure yet. Nothing has been verified. So Biden goes on to say that he also directly spoke to the Russian people, repeating that the United States and NATO were not a threat. To the citizens of Russia, you are not our enemy. I do not believe that you want a bloody, destructive war against the Ukraine, Biden said. Nothing the deep ties of family history and culture between the two nations. The president recalled that the United States fought with Russia in World War II in a war of necessity, but warned them against choosing to pick a fight with a neighboring country. If Russia attacks Ukraine, it will be a war of choice or a war without cause or reason, quote Biden. I don't know. He also goes on to say that if Russia invades the Ukraine, listen to this. If Russia invades the Ukraine, I will not pretend that this will be painless. This could impact our energy prices, quote Biden. All right. Why would Russia and Ukraine have anything to do with our energy? Especially when we, at one time, a short time ago, a year and a half ago, a year ago, we were energy independent. So now this administration has put us in a place where if somebody else goes to war, we suffer because of it. He actually said that the prices at the pump could go up even more if Russia invades the Ukraine. That's the position that he put us in, folks. This administration has done this to us. So, anyway, that's the headline hits for today. Thanks for joining us. Again, we'll be on Podbean this afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with John Estabrooks, and we'll be back later tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Love you all. Have a great day.